Hey everybody, this is Rydo and I'm back to play Resident Evil 4 yet again. Now, why am I playing Resident Evil 4? It's because this game in particular has had some horrible micro-stuttering, locking up, frame pacing issues, I believe would be the best description. And I found a new hack, for lack of a better term, that will seemingly fix that, but I haven't recorded anything yet, so maybe there is some still interaction. I will say that I've played this through one section and no micro stuttering whatsoever happened. However, I will say that also the Xbox 360 controller, which is now the Xbox One controller, which is I'm using, the buttons seem a little awkward, and even with the mouse sensitivity up at the highest of 30, which also affects the sensitivity of the controller, it still feels a little sluggish. Now, in all fairness, I've got this at a fixed 60 with 8x anti-aliasing, motion blur, and everything up as high as possible except for this. And I guess subtitles can't be on unless something else is? That's weird. Wonder what the thing is that it would disable the subtitles from being turned on. Am I sure? Yes. I just reset everything down to defaults. Well, subtitles still don't turn on. Maybe that's the problem. But also that didn't just change the resolution, so everything here is going to be a problem. Now, this hack is a command line thing. Let's leave anti-aliasing off and just shutter quality at high and hit A on that to save things and see if that really saves everything. And no, you still don't have that ability to turn on subtitles. Interesting. But that's more of a issue on this game than anything else. What we want to do is run through a section here while we're recording and just see how this goes. So there's been two types of games: Resident Evil games and Lego games that have had little bits of problems of this micro stuttering. This hack I've found very recently changes how Windows 10 interacts with the clock option. There is a function in the computer that seems to call for a time or a clock measurement. And then there are two clocks. There is a real-time clock on motherboards that have batteries on them. That's why there are these weird round batteries on motherboards. And that is a very precise but particularly slow device. So that's not the clock that you want to read very often. Instead, you want a cheater system that exists that is directly in a CPU. So that's what the hack has done, is says quit looking for precise time, instead just give a slightly less precise time. And the level of precision here is insignificant. With exact precision, unless you're trying to do GPS data, doesn't really need to be needed, because most PCs, Windows 10's PCs, also check the time against internet servers every now and then. Even if you did have a few seconds float away, that wouldn't really matter. But it seems, and this is just my speculation, that the engines that made Resident Evil games and Lego games did not like how particularly my motherboard and my CPU was doing that. Now, there have been at least 100, I would say, is a fair guesstimate, of other games I have played with absolutely no problems. And so I was chalking this up to the fact that I had this GTX 970, which I still have. That is still the video card I'm using, which is a false advertised defective video card. It has 3.5 gigs of fast RAM and 0.5 gigs of slow RAM, which would certainly potentially cause pacing issues. Let's see. See if we can go and slice this guy without too much of an issue. These guys are moving the way they should, as I remember having played this game multiple times. They are not in any way causing trouble, and I can quite easily take them out without any micro stuttering issues whatsoever. Now, I will say, compared to my memories, this does feel a little sluggish, and this game always had a run button, which I'm tapping A to run with. But otherwise, this seems right. It doesn't seem like it has any problems. Now, I want to play this a little bit further than I went in my experiment, and the case here is you can really never you really can never oops. Oh, died. And see, that will probably leave me right back at the load section. Or, well, no, it fast saved. You can never really know, though. Like, I could be 3 hours into this game and I could start seeing the micro stuttering again. I could be 4 hours into the game. It's possible that you would get very close to the end of the gameplay and start running into specific problems in a specific area, but that really wasn't what was happening before. This is the specific area that I kept running through over and over again in an effort to test this micro stuttering issue. And it's important that I explain it was a micro stuttering frame pacing issue, or at least it feels like that, as much as I even understand that as an issue, because otherwise it's just gonna sound like, oh, it was just running at a poor frame rate, which is believable, because I just have the graphics set too high, or some other accusation like that. See, will this guy even stand on these? I don't think he will. I think they'll just sidestep him. Nope. They'll walk right through them. You can see there's a guy behind this door, and his pitchfork is blocking the view. In the first playthrough of this game, you are in a position where you really can't easily take out these guys. There's actually two guys there. But you can see this is a pretty old game. It's got some issues, particularly when I'm swinging the knife. It feels like you have to aim rather low to the ground to swing the knife, and generally speaking, I would like to not be using the shotgun as much as I am, but also it doesn't really matter because this is hardly how I would play this game. At some point, I am going to find some extra time now and try and play this game from the beginning and see it through to the end. Of course, right now I kind of don't have time for that, so that becomes a slight problem. There's a lot to grab as far as collectibles here that I probably shouldn't bother to collect. Although, the one of the reasons why I like Resident Evil 4 in particular is it's so OCD about the collectibles and the way that all works. Whereas other games, it's not as fun or interesting to play it a second time. I have covered Resident Evil 5. 5 almost is worth playing a second time, but probably not. I just have way too many other games to play, and 6 is definitely not worth playing a second time, so like you really don't get into that. There were all kinds of things in particular that made me think, oh, maybe the game is running badly because of the water effects. When I was testing this out on a Lego game, there was a bunch of fire effects. They were not in any way affecting anything at all either. I maybe could make the argument that the anti-aliasing being up to 8x is maybe a little demanding on my graphics card, but I'm in a very weird position with graphic cards too. Like, I needed this graphics card to last longer than it seemed like it was going to last up until this point. Now it seems like it will definitely last a reasonable lifetime amount. Let's see. Gonna have to move quite a bit. Let's see. Which is the Y button, which then you need the bumper to switch all of that out of the way. Right now we have the NVIDIA Super GTX 2080 and the like super style of graphics cards who have just recently been announced, which would lower the price, and I'm starting to see some sales even now to buying a 2070 or 2080 at a reasonable price. A 2070 would be about double the power compared to a 970. That being said, I kind of don't need the power. This graphics card works for all other games. It makes it very pretty at almost high settings, if not all, for most older games, definitely at high settings options. So the only games that really give me any trouble will be new games at their highest settings, or specifically trying for like a lot of anti-aliasing, or going at a higher resolution. And as a YouTuber making content, my problem as far as going to 2K or 4K isn't a problem of really a matter of the graphics card alone. It would be in part the graphics card. Oops, forgot about those. So the first thing you do when you see this is look around and see if there's another one. Yeah, this is one I'm standing on, so I was just on the very verge of hurting myself again. The problem with going to 2K is I would need more hard drive space. I need more hard drive space even making 1080p videos, just to have enough places where I can record for a while and then upload those videos later, because I generally don't want to have to upload constantly as I'm recording things. But I would also need more bandwidth if I was going to go to 2K or 4K. I'd need more hard drive space, and in the United States, bandwidth is too expensive or just not available at all. So then there's that issue, or several issues. So my plan now, having seen this and having seen exactly 0 micro stutters, is to stick with the 970. Maybe whatever the next generation, the 3080 graphics card would be the next one I would consider buying, and I probably would wait to see if NVIDIA can figure out how its naming convention is going to be with the RTX line and the number lines, because they seem to have been all over the place with making a 20 series and then Titans series on top of the 10 series and 20 series. And on top of that, they now have a Super series. So what's the difference between a 2080 Titan and a 2880 Super? There is also a Resident Evil 4 fan project that seems to be, at least in part, being endorsed by Capcom. At least by the fact that it is not getting any kind of removal.
Leon, I've been able to get some new info.
Now, I mashed the buttons trying to skip through this when I was playing before this, and it didn't play any of the audio or animations. Instead, it just showed the text. So I don't know if you would just, if you started mashing buttons right now. So we've seen in the cutscene, we've seen in the gameplay, there's no micro studying at all. So this game is now playable. I'm in a nice position, certainly.
Hurry and find that church, Leon.
This means, as far as budgetary reasons, I'm in a good position because I can now potentially save up. I want to buy for my next computer a full new CPU, new motherboard, new all equipment inside, and a new case, because my case is probably 12 or 15 years old. It doesn't have like USB 3 ports on it, and a slightly quieter or soundproofed one for recording would be nice. Not that that's the main noise maker in my recording room. It's the air conditioner by far, but I can't do too much about that. This is a cutscene you can miss, but if you do it, you will see Ada Wong introduced into the story much earlier than you would see her otherwise. But I don't actually believe this unlocks anything other than this cutscene. Eventually you're going to need his eye, and you're going to have to defeat that guy. Spoiler for the game, but woman in red, somehow so familiar. Yeah, there's no other collectible. If you had not gotten the insignia key on the first chance, you would have seen her in that. And this is about as far as I've played last time. And so we're gonna see. This is a sequence in particular designed to make you say, these are not standard zombies. These are different. They have books. They care about gold. They collect weapons. Somewhat fair. These are paintings that This was probably a pretty good secret demo section for somebody somewhere. I don't know where, though. This is an interesting bathroom they have here because it seems that they decided to localize this because this doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a toilet paper roll and a urinal and that's it? It would make a lot more sense if there was a Japanese style toilet in the floor here. And this is supposed to be in Spain, so it wouldn't be crazy for that either. Take this raw egg chicken and let's see. We're ready for a big conflict when we get to the store, so let's see how we do with this. Alright. Where is he? We should run into a chainsaw guy and fire. And that did not seem to work. And quickly equip this and quickly start shooting this guy specifically in the head. Remember, the chainsaw guys will totally kill you in one hit, but I'm really having no trouble with that today. I definitely remember micro stuttering happening in this section, and I think we'll just go a little bit further, and then I think that's going to be it for this recording. I may not sound it, but this is super happy. Like, this is exactly what needed to happen to save me some money in the long run, to not take this middle step that was potentially going to have to be taken, to not waste potential money in the long run because of the fact that if I was specifically to buy a like 2070, which is what I was thinking I was going to have to buy because I just couldn't justify the price of a 2080. And certainly it's important to point out that the price of all of these are high, considering how since I started my YouTube channel, I mean, and I've been wanting to play this game probably since the beginning. In some small part, I love Resident Evil 4. Lots of people do. Since I started playing this, all small YouTubers got demonetized, including me. I went from making about 7 cents at the peak with the expectation that I would get more views as I got more followers. And I've probably, as far as subscribers, tripled my subscribers since I was demonetized. And now I'm asking everybody to specifically subscribe to my channel or get anyone you know to subscribe to my channel. I don't even really need people to watch the videos too much. It is just a matter of getting back up to 1,000 subscribers so that I can somewhat conservatively and responsibly run some ads to turn this back into a slightly worth doing venture instead of being a total loss experience. I need that guy in the back to not throw things at me or I'm gonna die. It still is pretty easy to just get your behind handed to you, and the buttons are in the wrong place by today's standards quite a bit. Let's see, I think if I eat this fish, that takes up a lot of space. So normally on the first playthrough you might end up selling a fish like this or eating it really quickly because it just takes up so much space. And I believe if we remove this, we will end up back in the village. And I don't know if I really need to run through this section. The second fight in the village is not that bad. I wish I played more games with keyboard and mouse. That's just never been my thing. So, like, it probably would be a smarter move to try and play this with that controller setup. We're at the point in this game where shooting people in the head offers no extra danger. Eventually it starts to add a little bit of extra danger, but it's not too much of a concern. Even then, you are better off shooting people in the head. Just look at all these zombies. Again, zero micro stuttering. Now, do I know 100% it's because of this hack? No. Have I seen other people complain about the hack not working for them? Yes. But something has happened at Windows 10. Windows 10 has either updated or something else along that line has occurred. And I think this is as good a place as any to end this recording right here. Eventually, and I'm making promises, which I should never do, I will get around to playing Resident Evil 4 micro stutter free from beginning to end, hopefully. At least I'll do a playthrough again, starting. Eventually I'll get to that point, starting at the beginning, going all the way to the end. Will I go back and play the many Lego games that I covered that had micro stuttering? No, I won't. It's too much of a commitment, and frankly, I still would recommend you play Lego games by getting a used copy and playing them on an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One, if they even made Xbox One versions of some of the Lego games. I know it has digital backwards compatible versions, but I'm not sure they ever released discs that would lower the price enough. But if you are going to play a Lego game, or if your kid is going to play a Lego game, playing it on a console, either the Xbox 360 or PS3 or PS4 or Xbox One, is way better than playing the PC versions, which are always play second fiddle. I would also say you probably are better off playing the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 if you can find it and a Wii that works. That is going to be the best experience in my opinion. But the Xbox 360 version of that is fine. This PC version is based off the Xbox 360 version. It works fine now too. So that's going to be it of this test video, for lack of a better descriptor. Seems like something fixed it. I think it's the hack I did. Maybe it wasn't. Hopefully no Windows 10 update occurs and then brings back these issues. There have been certainly lots of Windows updates. There's been major updates to the open broadcast software I use, and we tried this hack and it seems to work. So I think that problem's gone, which means I really no longer need to prematurely buy a new video card, which means I can save up money for a better video card. Instead of buying a 2070 now, I can buy maybe a 3080, which would be better at that point. And I can only cross my fingers as far as some point in the future getting more upload speed. Right now I can only upload about 11 megabits per second. That would take all day to upload an hour of 2K or 4K video. Probably take a lot more to do 4K. That's going to be it for this video though. My ending has probably changed quite a bit since I last tried to play this game. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment and watch every second of my videos, because those are the things that tell YouTube's algorithm that my videos are worth watching. When you subscribe, if you want to click the notification bell for notifications, you have to click the options under the notification bell to actually get all notifications. YouTube's crazy like that. If you want backup notifications for the point when you inevitably don't get notifications anyway from YouTube, there's a bunch of social media links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, I have a link to a Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list, which is highly curated, or just gift me a game you'd like to see me cover, or gift me a gift card if you don't want to make a decision. I may very well wait until the HD restoration project in total happens for this game, and may just play this game in that modded version instead of trying to play it in its current version. But this works now. Down below in the description I will put exactly a link to the page of where the hack is. I don't want to just put the hack in general there. I guess I maybe will do both. I haven't thought it all the way through. But going to the page for the people who discovered it might give some more comments or updates if things change. This took a very long time. Remember, this game is like a 2004 game, or came to PC at least 5 years ago, if not much longer than that. So this has been an issue consistently, for me at least, ever since I built my new computer, which was probably about 4 years ago. Again, that's it for this recording. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.